And welcome, everyone, to Lyndhurst Community News. Today is Wednesday, February 21st. This month is flying by. Now, this is episode 44. I'm Brian Haggerty, and here's what's happening around our town this week. But before we begin, remember to email any news from your club, organization, church, school, sport, as well as birthdays and anniversaries of note, as well as also engagements. Now, we haven't had any engagement announcements yet, but they'll come in due time. I find that more and more of you are getting used to sending things in, and I greatly appreciate that. And but all good news. We want to share all good news with everybody around town because we are a community, and in the community, we support one another. Okay, but this week, after I go through the regular news, I'll give you some updates, as I promised, on various properties around town. Not much to report, spoiler alert, but I will give you some updates. We're also going to give you the answer to last week's trivia question, and I'll announce who has emailed in the correct answer. Yes, we did have several of you. Then I'll give you this week's trivia question, and remember, each week, a correct answer will give you an entry into our drawing for a $100 Home Depot gift card. So, now that's going to be the first week of March. So if you answered each week correctly in February, then you could earn up to 4 separate entries to win, one for each correct answer. All right, so we'll do that at the end, but for now, let's get on with the news. So let's start off with sports. And not much to report this week either in sports, but some more good news. Once again, the bowling team just keeps winning and winning and winning. They defeated Dwight Morrow in 2 games to advance to the sectional semifinal, which is actually being held today. And that'll be against Morris County Tech. Good going, guys. Keep up all that great winning. And the girls' basketball team, they've had a great year. They beat Lodi 50-23. Now, that's all I've got for sports this week. So, the spring is coming soon. Springtime sports, Little League will have an awful lot to report then. But in the meantime, let's continue. If comedy is your thing, if you like stand-up comedy, well, we're going to have it right here in Lyndhurst. That's right, next Thursday, February 29th at 7 p.m. That's the seating. 8 p.m. is the show, and the admission is free. Come on down to Mickey's Bar and Grill at 601 Riverside Avenue right here in town for Aragona's Comedy. That's right. You're going to have headliner Sean Morton will be doing his stand-up that night. He will be hosted by John Butera. It's also featuring Tugboat Manny, as well as Lyndhurst's very own, as a special guest, Gina D will be doing her stand-up. Now, it's first come, first served. And there will be food and drink specials all throughout the night. So that's next Thursday at Mickey's Bar and Grill. Show starts at 7, seating. No, show starts at 8, seating is at 7. All right, and there's always a breakfast going on in town somewhere. Last week it was the American Legion's monthly scholarship breakfast. But this week there is Boy Scout Troop 86's annual. I don't do this every month. This is once a year. An annual breakfast this Sunday, February 25th. That's this Sunday. Don't forget. Mark it down, folks. It'll be held at the Lyndhurst Senior Citizen Center, which is located at 250 Cleveland Avenue. The hours are 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. The cost is $10. And again, like I always say, where are you going to get breakfast for $10? You're not, unless you come and support the Boy Scouts. And in addition to pancakes, they'll be serving bacon, sausage, sweets, coffee, tea, and juice. So come on out and support the Boy Scouts. Troop 86 this Sunday, February 25th. All right, now as we enter the warmer weather, that means we are one step closer to summer. And summer means boating. Have you ever gone out on a boat? Have you ever driven a boat? And not just a boat, it could be a wave runner as well. Well, this was sent to me this week from Dominic Abate. He's a member of the Board of Education. He's also a volunteer fireman here in town. And he's also a member of the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. And he wanted me to pass along to you that they are here in Lyndhurst hosting a boating safety course. This is an official course, by the way, folks. You will get credit for this through the state police. So the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, United States Coast Guard Auxiliary, will be having this class held at the Lyndhurst Volunteer Fire Department. Come in through the main entrance on the second floor located at 299 Delafield Avenue. It's going to be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., so it's all day. There's a good deal of information there, folks, and it's only $50 a person. You can make your check or money order out to USCGA Flotilla 10-13. Now, don't worry about writing that down. Remember, every email address, phone number, or any information I give you is always in the description box below the video on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook, click the video. It'll bring you to YouTube. Go below the video. There'll be that window there. Click where it says More, and it will expand it. And everything we mentioned, everything is there so that you don't have to write it down. So the certification is going to be issued by the New Jersey State Police Special Operations Section of the Marine Services Bureau. So there's a lot to learn about boating. Most people take it for granted, but, it looks so beautiful. But if you don't know what you're doing, it can be quite dangerous, especially when on a hot summer Saturday in July when everybody's out on their wave runners and boats. So learn boating safety. It'll be very good for you. If you want to reserve a space, you can reserve it by emailing Dominic Abate at dabate.uscga1013@gmail. Or you can text him at 201-888-5525. Please leave your full name and a telephone number so he can get back to you. Again, that will be in the description box below. Now, here's another thing, and this is very dear and important to my heart because this was one of my father's favorite annual traditions through the American Legion. And there are many of you listening. Maybe your children are grown, but you also may have grandchildren. And if they are grandsons in the junior year of high school, listen to me very carefully. So now, this June will be the annual Boys State, sponsored by the American Legion, June 16th to the 21st. That's held at Rider University. Now, American Legion Boys State is among the most respected and selective educational programs of government instruction for United States high school students. A participatory program in which students become part of the operation of local, county, and state government. Boys State was founded in 1935, and the program was the idea of two of Illinois' Legionnaires by the names of Hayes Kennedy and Harold Card. They organized the first Boys State at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. American Legion Auxiliary also sponsors a separate but similar program for young women called Girls State. Now, at Boys State, participants learn the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of franchised citizens. The training is objective, and it centers on the structure of city, county, and state governments. It's operated by students elected to various offices. Boys State activities include legislative sessions, court proceedings, law enforcement presentations, assemblies, bands, choruses, and recreational programs. Now, Legion posts, such as ours right here, Post 139 at Lyndhurst, select high school juniors to attend the program. Now, in most cases, individual expenses are paid by a sponsoring post. We do that here. We pay for the sponsorship of the young men. Sometimes a local business or another community-based organization may also sponsor these candidates. So if you have a grandson or a son who is a junior in high school, let me just tell you that this program is probably one of the best programs out there for young people to attend, especially if they are looking forward to some type of future in politics or government. We've seen young men go to this Boys State each year, and they come back completely transformed with a brand new level of confidence that they never thought they could achieve. So please, if you are interested, make sure your young grandson or son knows about this because the school, we asked the school, the high school, for a list of recommendations. If they're interested, let them get to their guidance counselor so that the guidance counselor can let the American Legion Post 139 know that they are interested in becoming a candidate for Boys State. Of course, the American Legion goes through a selection process. There is an interview. There's a paper that has to be written because what they're trying to see is who really wants to go. And that's how they choose who gets this wonderful honor each and every year. So please, don't let this opportunity pass a young person by. Okay, and yesterday, Tuesday, was our monthly Lyndhurst Merchants Association meeting held at Vinnie Mutz's on Valley Brook Avenue, where, again, local merchants come together to assist one another with anything. We help them build their business. We help to it by exchanging information. Maybe there's something I've done that I've had experience with that somebody else may learn from that experience. And these are a great group of people, all of whom want to help the community as well. We only restarted this back in August, so it's not even a year yet. We're planning on doing a 5K run sometime this spring. But I like to always talk about a spotlight on new businesses. And yesterday at the meeting, for the very first time, we had Sylvia Molina is her name, and she is the owner of Molina's Maid. It's a great cleaning service. She has many clients here in Lyndhurst, and she's looking to get more. Now, they are very reliable, and they are trustworthy, very detail-oriented, and they guarantee that you will be satisfied by their services. She, of course, is fully insured and bonded. But there's something else I want to tell you about her. And this was what really got me when she was explaining to me what they do. Now, she's a member of what I believe is called the National Association of Home Cleaners. And what they do as well is that they offer free cleaning services for cancer patients, people who are recuperating and ill and can't clean their homes themselves, which I thought was just a wonderful, wonderful endeavor and charitable thing to help people with. So if you or someone you know is struggling with cancer or is infirm in some way, and you can't necessarily clean your home, reach out to Sylvia. But also, I recommend highly her services to clean your home. A lot of us don't have the time, and she does a very, very thorough job. So how do you get a hold of her? Well, you could visit online at molinasmaid.com, molinasmaid.com. That'll be in the description box. But you can call her. Phone number is 201-728-4852. Her cell is 845-269-5689. I recommend you leave her a message because she's busy throughout the day. But if you're looking someone to clean your home who is trustworthy, who services a great many people in this town, give Molina's Maid an opportunity to clean your home. And also, don't forget what I said about people who are ill, infirmed, or cancer sufferers. Give them a call to find out more information about that program and how it works. And don't forget, it's so important to always support local businesses. You know, they're becoming fewer and fewer, so luckily we have some great businesses in this town, and every time you support them, you're supporting the whole community as a whole. So it's vitally important that we do so. All right, so as I said earlier, I'm going to give you some updates before we get into this week's and last week's trivia answer versus this week's trivia question. So I keep getting a lot of questions from many of you regarding the various properties in town, one of which is the Lyndhurst Diner property, which, as we know, had sold recently. Another is the old TD Bank property on New York Avenue. Another property is also on New York Avenue, a little bit down from where TD Bank is. Now, if you missed it, if you go back and look through my past episodes, I did a special episode where I spoke about the New Jersey affordable housing laws, because one of the biggest things that most people don't know is that towns like Lyndhurst, really every town in New Jersey, they have an affordable housing requirement that is mandated by law. And these laws have been on the books now since the 1970s with the Mount Laurel court case from years ago, the very famous one. Now, if you missed that episode, go back and find it. It's quite lengthy, but I get into detail about affordable housing because we all see more and more apartments going up in this whole area, and everybody's saying, but wait a minute, the traffic, the schools, we don't want all of this. Well, you're going to find out that the state of New Jersey mandates this, and there's next to nothing a township can do to stop it. And if a township tries to stop it, then they can go and get builder's remedy. The developers can, in which case then they can bypass all local zoning ordinances, which would be devastating for any town, let alone our town. So I asked if there's been any applications made or if any owner of those properties have even come in to have a conversation. And the answer was no, nothing. In fact, they're kind of shocked down there at the construction department that nobody has come in from the Lyndhurst Diner property. Now, we don't think, we hope not, but we don't think they're going to apply for apartments. We think that that's probably going to be a commercial development. Similar, we always heard the rumor of a Wawa. There's no evidence that Wawa is coming. That conversation has not been had. But we're thinking that that's most likely going to be the best case scenario for that property, which is fine because the last thing we want are more apartments down there. So, yeah, there's been nothing on the TD Bank. There's been nothing on the other property whose original application for apartment units down on New York Avenue was also denied by the planning board. So you can learn all of this if you go check out that old episode back from a few months back. Maybe I'll even share it on the Lyndhurst News Facebook group. It's definitely worth giving it a listen. But that's all we have there. Now, the train station. By the way, folks, the train station is not a Township of Lyndhurst project. The Township of Lyndhurst is not paying for it. The Township of Lyndhurst isn't really doing anything. It's New Jersey Transit is doing it. Now, everybody keeps saying, well, when is it going to open? When is it going to be open? Because it looks like it's pretty much done. Well, I'm told, and this is not official, but I am told that it probably won't open until next year, 2025. There is a drainage issue, which those of us who have been in town for a long time know that anytime you get torrential downpours, that area under the trestle on Delafield Avenue has some drainage issues. So I know they have to be solved, and that has caused a bit of a delay. Let's hope that that won't cause much of a delay. And let's hope that whatever is necessary to get that under control is easy enough. So that's where we're at. The train station will be opening next year. So far, no applications, but I will tell you that if an application does come in on one of the properties, we will tell you what it is right here on Lyndhurst News. And remember, too, by the way, this is public information. Anyone can pick up the phone or pay a visit to the construction department and review any site plans, any applications, any architectural plans that have been submitted. It's all there. It's all public information. All you have to do is ask, and it will be shown. It will be given. So those are the updates we have there. So now, let's first talk about the answer to last week's trivia question. So, last week, the question was, what is the longest street in Lyndhurst? I don't have the choices in front of me, but I know it was either Ridge Road, Riverside Avenue, Rutherford Avenue, or Valley Brook Avenue. Anybody want to take a guess before I tell you? This one could be a little confusing. Again, old-timers from town know this, but new people may not. So the answer is Valley Brook Avenue. Because Valley Brook Avenue begins all the way down by the county park, goes all the way up, and all the way down into the meadows, all the way out into the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, the environmental center out there, DeCourt Park. So yeah, the correct answer is Valley Brook Avenue, and I want to congratulate those who got the answer correct. We have Bob Warzakowski got it correct, Barbara Lindsay, correct, Judy Lento, another week of correct. That's 2 entries for you, Judy. And Jerry Sparta. My brother answered it correctly, too, but of course he's my brother, so he doesn't count for the for the drawing. All right, now, on to this week's trivia question. And here we go. What team did Lyndhurst High School play? This is the football game, the football team, on their first televised game. What team did Lyndhurst High School play on their first televised game? Here are the answers, possible answers. A, Passaic. B, Garfield. C, East Patterson, or D, Clifton? Those are your choices. By the way, all of these are courtesy of Joe Cafone, the author of My Lyndhurst, I think his most comprehensive history book about the township of Lyndhurst. He also wrote one on the history of the police department because he used to be a Lyndhurst police officer years back. Joe gave me these questions. They are wonderful, but the answers to all of them are in his history book, My Lyndhurst. So if you don't have it, I highly suggest you go on Amazon and search My Lyndhurst by Joe Cafone and get yourself a copy. It is amazing how much history is in that book. Joe did an amazing job. So email to lyndhurstcommunitynews@gmail.com your answers, what you think the answer is, and we'll read you the answer next week as well as let you know who the winners are. And congratulations to those who won this week, as you each earned another entry into the final drawing, which will be held the first week of March at Vinnie Mutz's. Vinnie himself is going to pull the winner's name. And so that's it for this week. Short news week, but some interesting tidbits out there. But we're getting closer to spring, and it's amazing that in just a few short weeks, we're going to be turning the clocks ahead. Remember, fall back, spring ahead. So the days are already getting longer. That's nice, because as someone who gets up very early, I'm tired of getting up in utter darkness. I like June when I can get up at 5 a.m. and the sun is already coming up. But the warmer weather's on the way, folks. Time is flying by, but it's coming. It's coming soon. So anyway, as we always remind you every week, that a community is not its houses, its buildings, or its roads. A community is its people. It's so important to get to know your neighbors. Help people out when they're in need. If you have elderly neighbors, check on them. Run to the store for them. Bring in their trash containers. Remember, we're all going to be older one day, God willing. We would hope that people help us. That's why to do unto others as we would have them do unto us is one of the greatest rules we ever could have learned that Jesus Christ taught. And regardless of your religion, that would hold up in any religion. And also, don't forget, the fire department's always reminding me to remind you to check the batteries on your smoke detectors and your CO2 detectors. They will save your lives. And also, remember to always shop local, as we said, and support our local businesses. All right, don't forget to send us your news. The email address is in the description box. lyndhurstcommunitynews@gmail.com. This is Brian Haggerty, wishing you a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. God bless you, and God bless Lyndhurst.